Hi guys, today for our special we will do an African Battle Royale. I tried games, but my computer didn't want me to do a game one. And the first incursion of this Battle Royale is Morocco and Algeria. Yep, what do you expect? As they cross the border. Yep, that's how they cross into Morocco. As they cross into Morocco. In the south and north. But they are stopped. Mostly by mountains. And while this is happening, Morocco takes an incursion south. And keep in mind, when countries get wiped out, I will make the countries that were part of it a bit stronger. So yeah. And you can also be strong, but if ever a targets you, you also get eliminated. Which probably makes sense to you guys, I guess. Considering Battle Royales work weird. Would have been good videos, yeah. But then my computer got a bit contrary. Which is not great when you're trying to make a YouTube video to have a contrary computer. No. With Mauritania and Morocco having basically taken over, nobody really goes after anybody quite yet. But the DRC decides it's time to unite the Congos. Yep, you heard that right. DRC expansionism as they quickly take the capital. With the country being weakened, everybody else hops into the division and partition. And yeah. And it pretty much is going to collapse. We should know that. But when countries do collapse, there's going to be certain things. And also, this is not realistic. So you don't go complaining that, oh, they couldn't get eliminated. They're stronger than everybody combined. So don't do that. Please. And just like that, the collapse of the Republic of Congo happened. Yep. And that shows the strength of them. But then Sudan erupts into a war. With parts of the country rising up over here. And that's definitely not based on real life. It changes drastically as the war rages on. And with the victor. Rwanda fell, and the Sudanese rebels are at the capital, Khartoum. And let's see the Battle of Khartoum. With Ethiopia during this deciding its best bet right now is to invade Eritrea, as they will get stronger by doing this. And But if you have a civil war, then you get weaker. Which won't happen too much, because I don't want to make a 3-hour video for a special. That wouldn't be that good. Maybe it would be if it was live stream, but it's not. And Sudan fell. Khartoum fell, so Sudan is going to probably lose its control. With Egypt perfect timing. As Sudan starts losing drastic amounts of land to Egypt, because Egypt intervened. And it looks like Ethiopia might intervene. And it is seen now as a loss for the Sudanese central government. And, they move fast. And fast as they possibly can. Which is pretty slow, though. And with these rebels finally making it south. And meeting up with South Sudan's border. And South Sudan then seeing they want to unite everyone and invade South Sudan. But then the nations realize that everybody wants to invade everyone. But you can get along in this video. You just can't do it too well. And a big part is the fall of Sudan. Niger now broke out into a conflict. And Sudan's central government has fallen. And the fall of most nations are starting now. It's kind of like territorial IO if you were in charge of everybody, but not really. Because it's too much controlled. And yeah, as we see, the fall of Niger didn't take too long, did it, guys? No. You may be like, how does that make sense? Well, it's in speeded up time, let's say. And well, yeah. With the Sudanese central government, new government, I mean, deciding to invade into Chad. With the Gabon War breaking out, too. Why did it break? What also happens? Well, the fall of Equatorial Guinea. Yeah. And as we can see, another place has fallen. And they're just getting stronger. And let's see what happened down here. Okay, so you may be like, I guess not much happened, but this is what happened. This will happen, probably. And then the fall of Botswana happens. Well, the start of the collapse of Botswana, I guess. It's more like a partition. And yeah. I'll soon have to leave to knock out a few nations. Keep in mind, there could be more wars going on than I have shown and not realized that I didn't show one, for example. As Madagascar didn't expect Mozambique to have this much of a successful landing, did anybody know? Mozambique learned from their father this. Yep, that's what Mozambique did. As Mozambique takes them out. But Mozambique will become Madagascar soon. As this starts happening. Tanzania invades full speed. And why is it just Tanzania at this? Why isn't anybody else? Because everybody else was not right away, instantly. As South Africa is like, oh, this is good timing. And whoever wins this takes over all of Africa. And yeah. How does this make any sense? You may be saying this doesn't make any sense. And you may be thinking this is probably more self-suggestive because, well, you're controlling it. You may be thinking, but that's not the case. Maybe there is some of that. As South Africa invades the Madagascar part. With Tanzania being slow acting on this, but acting wisely and actually engaging. In the north. As they take out the north, the Madagascar split like a thing. Something. I don't know how to split. And with Chad having a counter-offensive against Sudan. A big comeback. And you may be wondering, why is there such big comebacks? If it's just them. Well, South Sudan is invading. I guess you would call it. Ethiopia likes to invade it. As Ethiopia is taking a big chunk out of it. Ethiopia's border gore now, I guess. With Kenya deciding Uganda is their best bet. You may be wondering, why would I give them to invade Uganda? Because, yeah. That's not a good answer, you may be thinking. But I gave it anyway. With the Democratic Republic of Congo starting an invasion of there while Angola invades them from the south. This is already seen, you can see is a mess. As their capital gets taken. This puts the Democratic Republic of Congo in a dangerous position. But Central Africa gets invaded from the north. And a few nations decide to help them. Including Cameroon and South Sudan and Chad. They all help them. But it might be too late. As Algeria starts taking a huge Angola starts taking a huge swath of land. And then Tanzania trying to get the EAF invades. Which they'll probably get the EAF partially. And yeah. As Tanzania invades Kenya. Ethiopia at this time invades Somalia, taking out most of the Somaliland area and taking out most of the northern parts. With Uganda for right now coming to a peace, no, Tanzania agrees to peace, which works. For the Democratic Republic of Congo, at least. And so, yeah. Much is going to happen still as they invade. But to the surprise of many, Angola is now in a war with Namibia. Now let's see the differences. All nations except Djibouti and Malawi are now eliminated. As you can see, the map is really less populated. But this is where Nigeria starts their invasion of Cameroon. And they invite the DRC. The DRC agrees as they are trying to prepare for a big offensive. And well, as we can see, Chad just agreed. And yeah. Namibia's offensive goes much better. And then, well, Zambia and Zimbabwe kind of partition an area without the permission of major powers. But South Africa decides to invade them. And yeah. And then, well, as we can see, the collapse of this nation is imminent. And yeah. And so then Tanzania is over there just dominating. But Ethiopia is a dominator. So it's hard to say who will win because I don't know who. Who's going to make the good decisions? Who's going to not? Who is already weak? Who's strong? Like the DRC, as we can see, looks weak right now. But look how strong they are. Also, I'm going by land area for strength, which is not fair sometimes. With this happening, yep, they took them out. And so, yeah, this is what partitions look like. Also, I mean, you may be like, why are you just skipping all the meat? Because I kind of may have been doing this all along. And now for one country, for the fall of South Sudan. After it was invaded by Ethiopia, the country of Tanzania joined in. And Chad. So if Egypt starts an armed invasion of Ethiopia and may or may not blow up the Grand Renaissance Dam, maybe not. And ever I sees Ethiopia is gone, but one problem with that. Ethiopia got the help of Tanzania. And Libya sees the struggling and it's like, yeah, we can do this. Meanwhile, in Libya. Yep, what happens in the meanwhile, you may be wondering. This kind of may or may not happen. Algeria has been rapidly expanding. Morocco decides to go after Mauritania, which they are stronger than. How, you may be wondering. Because they actually have help. And yeah. Also, if you lose your original starting grounds, you're also eliminated. So yeah. With Chad deciding to help Ethiopia. But Algeria sends support to Egypt, basically. Egypt turns Ethiopia back south. And that, it basically stalemates out. Namibia in a bad position gets invaded. Really? They helped you survive Democratic Republic of Congo, Dr. Congo, and this is how you repay them? I don't get it. And let's see who's left. finally breaking the stalemate after months because of Algeria's involvement in Egypt. Yep, they sent forces to Egypt. And they're at war with Ethiopia. Yep, you heard that right. And Egypt is starting to fail as a nation after, well, it gets a drought for some reason. And then the rest of Libya falls. With the Democratic Republic of Congo in a really awful position, they're probably going to fall next. Unless they can successfully take out as the capital of Algeria falls. Yep. Algeria has basically collapsed already. With the chaos, Chad finally expands. Chad thinks they can win, but can they? Probably not. I'd say it's one of the coastal nations. It could be Ethiopia, Morocco, or South Africa. With the DRC saying, yeah, we're going to win, so we'll take out South Africa. This may or may not work, but then your forces are there. So what do you think the other nations will think of your big attack there? They'll just think they need to take you out before you invade them. So what do? Exactly what I warned you about, South Africa. And guys, look, Ethiopia joins this. So it's basically South Africa probably won't recover from this, guys, but they might be able to rebound. And yeah, with this country on the verge of collapse, and I don't say that lightly, they are on the verge of collapse. And at the same time, Chad gets attacked on multiple fronts. And I will be back with us be Ethiopia and Nigeria, as they have the biggest populations in this continent, and right now, and they also did before the start. And well, South Africa is really weak from the big invasion, and so look, South Africa has already fallen. Basically, they are going to fall. As a continent's basically getting split in two. But then comes the most shocking move as they invade Nigeria. Yep, Ethiopia does. Let's see who will pull this one off. But Nigeria probably doesn't have as much manpower unless they do get help. With Nigeria having a big population, their goal is to take out Ethiopia. Because the rules, as you guys know, is that if your country is wiped out, you lose and you are kicked out regardless of how strong you are. You need to keep your original land. With this happening, a rearrangement of their troops to defend Ethiopia. But while they were doing that, well, in the southern front, they would have had this big problem. A huge offensive was launched by Nigeria, which right now has all of this land seized and is rapidly increasing. But failing to get Morocco's hand, but Ethiopia succeeds because they did that faster. And they've already had most of that done before the war. Ethiopia may be shrinking, but look at them now. Well, they're already in Nigeria. I guess maybe Morocco will get there. As Morocco did make it there, and this happened. With the fall of this front, with the fall of Nigeria, the finale is on. But will they be able to pull it off, do you think? I don't know. Can Morocco pull this off? Probably not. But Morocco will have the first chance to strike. As Morocco takes out most of northern Africa, as Ethiopia was still preparing. And yeah, Ethiopia's empire was still preparing. now they're prepared to go head-to-head with Morocco. With it basically turning into North versus South. With Morocco having a huge offensive into, and they take half of Ethiopia, the area that if the Ethiopia loses, they'll be in big trouble. So yeah, as they are rearranging troops, they managed to hold there, but they're rearranging troops. They rearrange successfully and kick them fully out of Ethiopia. And, well, out of the DRC. As they also advance here. But I don't know who will win, actually. With a invasion by Morocco happening in the south, which was unexpected. So they end up doing this. But the problem is that Ethiopia saw this strategy and noticed that here there's not much defense. And by the Suez Canal, so they seize the Suez Canal and land here. And so now they're invading Morocco on 3 fronts. And now they just spearhead across, spearhead north. Yeah, I don't even know what's going on at this point, but they only hear about up here. And the small operation down there somehow takes this. Because Morocco actually moved all of its troops up here, which was smart. But it's too late. As Morocco starts saying its death is there. But they get so hopeful they can win. And yeah, their hope is enough as they win. Because their people want to win. So yeah. They win. Yep, they won, guys. Joking. This is what actually happened. Ooh. Yep, I bet you guys didn't expect that to be the real ending. And I hope you enjoyed today's special video as it was made because it's been a year of our channel. And we're almost to 500 subscribers, so keep the good work up. As we'll have a special of 500 subscribers. And we'll have a video to celebrate when we hit 500, and then 600 is our goal by July 1st. So today is the 6th, 7th. Yeah, it's the 7th. Wait, what's the day? I guess it's the 7th. Maybe not where you are watching this video now, but I think it is. Yep, it is June 7th, guys. So thank you for viewing this video as we have 23 days to get 600 subscribers. Can we do it? I think so. What do you guys think? Subscribe and help me do it. And that's all for today's video. Wild Mamper out.